Welcome everybody to After Market Monday. This is Dennis Wilborn, founder Active Trend Trading. We do this little 10 to 15 minute video or webinar about the markets to see, kind of like give us a taste for where things may be going, and just take a look at, what's setting up for the first part of the week. All materials we present are for training purposes only. Traders should always pay per trade any new method prior to the risk of their own personal capital. Past performance does not guarantee, basically, future performance. I want to highlight, I know several of you are basically in the, learning how to trade stage, and if that, my encouragement to you is to be patient with yourself. One, settle down on just learning a couple of things and learn them really, really well. And then you'll add to that, later on. Because what I see oftentimes with people when they're just learning how to trade, they'll bop from one thing to another without really becoming a master in any of it. And so it does impact them later on. So objective, take timely actual intel at the beginning of each week, market reviews, stocks, ETFs that potentially setting up. Here's some of the things that we're working on and doing in 2018, doing refinements to the active trend trading system continuously. I always try to refine so that we can continue to clarify, simplify for our members to be able to multiply what they have. We've added a composite watch list that captures every stock that is on the IBD premium watch lists. And what we do is we basically sort those down into what stocks are showing up on more than one list, and then do a couple more search to see, do any of them look interesting from a technical standpoint. And so it takes about 500 stock symbols and breaks it down to about 100 each week. So that's one of the new things. If you're a active trend trading member, that's either the premium or the free newsletter, you get access to that list, and so that's a good thing. So remember, have patience and respect the rhythm of the markets. Hey, David, how are you? A couple of things I want to highlight going as we start looking at what's going on in the market right now. As of about 12 o'clock, 12:15 today, active trend trading, we haven't done a lot of trading this year so far. We've got our strategy 3 position set in place, basically, all 3 of those positions have done well and have started to roll up nicely. Even though we haven't been selling a lot of premium against them, that will kick in when appropriate. We're in the 3rd week of the month. We sold some premium last week on one of the positions on BABA, and raked in our profit from that, and also sold one position on Tesla last week. Took a small loss on it, but then we basically sold a position on Friday, a put position against that strategy 3 position. It did well today. Was taken out when it dropped below some support area, but we got out with a nice, about a $2 profit on that particular stock. I want to remind you that throughout the year we will be doing bonus trades for both premium and free newsletter members, and I want to be able to do somewhere between 10 and 12 setups per year. And all you have to do is got to make sure that you're signed up as an active trend trading member, and you can find that at this forums at aweber.com. Seasonality. We want to take a look at seasonality. Be prepared for it. We're in the month of January. What tends to happen in the month of January? Well, in the S&P, as you can see, what tends to happen is the market. Now, I'm dealing with the pink line this year because the blue line was a post-election year that we paid attention to. But usually you get a little bit of an uptick in January on the S&P, a little bit of sideways in February. Then March, April, you get a nice little bid up sideways into the October timeframe, and then get a bid here. What we found about seasonality that everybody needs to be aware of is that it's not so much that the chart of the S&P will look like this, this chart from, that covers over 59 years worth of data, but that it basically at these low points, somewhere between plus and minus 15 days around this period, is when a lot of times the S&P would get a bid and take off on its seasonal run. So that's what brings value to this being aware of the seasonality. Same thing goes with the Nasdaq. As you can see, Nasdaq kind of runs flat, although Nasdaq has not run has not run flat this year. It got up to about 4% up and is turning around. Here are the entities. This is the go no go table. This was posted on the radar last night for premium members. And then if we get any signals, of course, you'll be getting the triggers to get into a trade on all of these if we get a signal. I wanted to highlight to everybody is what we've done is I've included now both the non-leveraged ETF, which in this case would be SPYs, and then the leveraged. The one on the left is the bullish. The one on the right is the bearish side of those leveraged ETFs. These are primarily 3 times leveraged. So you've got the Qs, the TQQ, SQQ, TNA, TZA, FAS, and FAS, LABU, LABD. And then I switched at the advice of one of our traders. And one of our traders is actually, active trend traders over here in Hawaii visiting right now. And he shared some really great information with me over this past weekend. If any of you make it to Hawaii, please let me know. I would love to go out and have dinner with you. Just spend a little time getting to know you personally. But he shared a couple of things. One is the junior nugget and the junior dust. These are the gold miners. They tend to run about 1/3 more than nugget and or dust, which is what we have been following. So I said, since this is primarily a strategy 1 trade where I want to be buying into those when we get the proper trigger, why not go with the one that runs a little bit more? And so you can be aware, I modified and changed the watch list to include JNUG and JDust. Or is that just JT? Okay, anyway, all the rest remains the same. These are core holdings. Tesla, BABA right now, strategy 3, but we can also work strategy 2 and strategy 1 on those. NVDA, Netflix, and YY are the other ones that we're looking at as primarily core holdings as we speak. So let's see here. The question right now, seasonality. Are we going to get a pullback or more? What are we looking at in the stock on the indexes right now? A climax top? Possibly. They're really. We'll take a look at that here shortly. Bonus trades, waiting for a setup on that. So we're primarily strategy 1, strategy 2. We have 7 ETFs to trade. We have basically right now 5 core stocks that we would trade in strategies 1 and or strategy 2. I want to remind everybody that active trend trading, in 2008, we have 4 entry rules, 4 exit rules. So we have 10 rules altogether. We're doing training on Wednesday nights right now that basically is rules by the number and showing exactly how those apply to each one of the strategies. Early warning alerts, setup, and then strategy 2, really working towards wanting to generate $500 to $1,000 per week on this. And one of the fun things that we're doing also is this Tesla trade. We're going to trade Tesla so that I can buy my wife a new Lexus. And what this is, it's a lesson in compounding. If I can compound $5,000 at 4.35% per week, I can generate the $38,335 by the end of the year, so I can go out and pay cash for her a new car. Again, I will be providing these trades to everybody. This one from 1.9 last week was provided, so we generated about $312. The week before, didn't provide that one because I was doing some testing on the system, make sure it was working properly. What's really interesting, this gentleman who's here with his wife visiting in Hawaii, he said, he shared a couple of things with me that I want to share with you. One is that he said fewer is better. He says he likes the streamlined nature of our watch list. He says that works really, really well. Let's go back to the watch list. There we go. But what he does is he streamlines it even more. He'll pick out and say, okay, I want to trade one of these index ETFs, and I want to trade either one or two of the other ETFs. He likes LABU, he likes JNUG, and then he may or may not trade the core stocks. But what he does, what's very interesting, and I really love this concept, is he last year made about 36% trading strategy number one. And he's going to send me his story. He actually went out and on the money he made from trading the strategy one, he bought himself a Shelby Cobra. I guess that's a little sports car thingy. You guys sports car fanatics know what that is. But it was a nice looking car. So he's going to send me the picture and send me a story about that. But that's the highlight, what he wanted to talk about. He says fewer is better. And so he just highlights and waits for the active trend trading signals on those three entities. And so that's something to take away, because oftentimes we can get all wrapped up trying to chase, even on a small list like we have, we'll try to chase the stocks, and it just doesn't work out very well. We get hung up doing that, and we wind up missing the trades. And so we don't want to miss the trades. And so if you are a busy person, going that way may be something good for you. So let's take a real quick look at what's going on with the S&P. I'm going to go to the spiders and just take a look at the SPYs. Now, I've got an intraday chart over here on the left, and a weekly daily chart here in the middle, and a weekly chart over here on the right. As you can see, the overnight futures were way up here. I mean, this opened up here at the 279 level on the spiders, ran up to 280, and then reversed down. On a daily basis, we now have one of our first reversal signals we've had in a long time. This is a dark cloud, and so we would anticipate this moving down from here. I'll be looking for a pullback up into the middle of this candlestick here, and if that fails, and I can draw, I don't want that. If that fails, of course we have, up above that, but the middle third of this large red candle, if we pull up into that, as you can see, is right here, just above the, my 278 level, and it pulls up above that and then dumps down below it, that may be a trigger to basically sell premium against our long leaps position in spiders. I will not trade, I'll wait for my TSI to give me a good signal. We could, but we've got some conflict. We've got out of sync with the intraday, which looks like it wants to bounce off the zero line, the daily, which is rolling over, and the weekly, which is also rolling over, and looks like it is ready. It looks like it's ready to rest a little bit. The climax run that I'm talking about is, as you can see, we basically have had several. We had this move down here from about April 2017. Was nice and general incline, gentle incline. Then we went into a little bit steeper incline as we got into the year. This was, I want to say, in August. It is in August. And then around November, it jumped into another gear. And let's just take it from here. Jumped into another gear. Each one of those accelerations, and now we finally went into this acceleration here. And so oftentimes that kind of just going parabolic on this last one is a good indication that a climax run may be in the offing. Now, how much of a pullback are we going to get? We don't know. But what we can do is just clear these drawings out of here. What we can do is just be anticipating a pullback into, a lower level. If we take, and again, we still, and until proven different, we still want to play pullbacks. So just throw a fib on here, a Fibonacci in there. And so any kind of pullback down into this magic fib box between 271, the 618 retracement up to the 382 retracement, anywhere in there we could anticipate a bounce back to the upside. So that's what I'm looking to be looking at on my spider trades. And again, I'd be trading UPRO in a situation like that. QQQ, similar type situation, really nice acceleration, not quite a dark cloud, so it's not. It is a bearish reversal type candle in that it's a big red one. However, it doesn't fit into being named as anything such other than a gap up and then a sell-off, which is never a health, is basically a sign of weakness. And IWM. Now, IWM definitely has bearish engulfing and may move further down. If you are looking at trading TNA or TZA, I'm going to put in TZA, because you may get a retest. And so if TZA, so you get a bullish engulfing on TZA, it ran about, no, I don't want that. Let's take a look at about how far did it run today, full range. Now, about 7%. So if we get a pullback back down into this, area here, about 1114, then where can we anticipate to go? 1114, probably up to 12, or even up to the 1252 area. And who knows, it may actually reverse it. And if we go into a more sustained, correction, TZA or SQQQ may give us an opportunity on some, to the upside. As you can see, daily TSI ticking up. So other than this being, at the end of, the low end of everything, that could be a potential move higher. So just keep an eye on that. And what else do we want to look at? I want to look at two other things. Well, I want to look at three other things. I'm going to first put up Nugget. Okay. From this move on Nugget, and this again is what one of the members forwarded to me. He said, take a look at this move from here, this low here in the end of midsection of December up to this move here. That was about a 43% move. And look at so the JNUG. If Dennis could type that in there, sorry guys. Here, let's do it this way. There we go. Now that's the same move from here to here, so we'll just remeasure this. And it was 42 or 44. You can see this one's up 60. So, a little bit over 60. So about a third more. So just keep an eye on that. LABU. LABU is rolling over. I don't like, Gary brought that up. It may find a place to bounce here, but where's it going to go? I mean, if you want to, it's still in this uptrend, so you can keep an eye on that. So it would be nice if it get all the way back down to this area and then rebound, but we've got a negative divergence on the TSI, a head and shoulders on the TSI, the weekly TSI rolling over. So I would anticipate a move all the way, potential move all the way back down into the 65 to 63 area, and then load back up to go to the other side. I don't like LABD as the inverse on that because I just don't. It's so undervalued. They need to do a reverse stock split on it to bring its value back up to where it's, I think, more manageable. The other ones I want to show you are Tesla. Okay, watch Tesla tomorrow morning. Tesla is bouncing. It's got a really nice support here at the 333 level. It has really strong resistance here at the 344 level. If we stick our head back up here to the 344 level, and it looks like it wants to roll over. Be standing by to sell calls down to the downside. Now we sold puts last Friday. That came in very nicely, and we get a tick up and did well. So that's where we're looking at with Tesla. It is, and today's move on Tesla, just to FYI, it was a $10 move. And so we want to start taking advantage of those larger moves. Then finally, Baba. Now, Baba got whacked, but look where it whacked to, right down to the 50% retracement from this past run from here to here. And so it also put in a really nice move this morning. I would anticipate a break back up, but because we basically have pierced all these lines on very strong above average volume, I'm looking at BABA for a retracement back up into the 187 level. If I draw that in there, that's about right there. Let's see where that comes out on the big candle over here, just above the third, it's in the middle 2/3, or we could also say right there at the 8-day moving average, which is there. So somewhere in there, trace back up, reverse off of that, and fall. This looks like it is very loaded to head to the downside, and with this large volume move down, could take us all the way back down, complete 100% retracement, all the way back down to the 170 level. And so, okay, guys, that covers us for today with a little bit, about 2 minutes over time. We will proceed from there. And yeah, Gary, yeah, I'm looking at YY kind of off the 8, but YY is kind of acting a little bit like BABA also. So a little bit of weakness there. So have a great week, everybody. If you're a free member, we'll see you tomorrow night. And God bless everybody. Aloha.